We're the Kitchen Twins. Today we are going to interview Chef Shuman, the executive chef of Betony on West 57th Street in New York. Chef Shuman attended the California Culinary Academy. He has worked at top restaurants around the country, and now Betony joined those as it was voted top restaurant in New York last year, and it has been awarded the Michelin star and many more awards. It was very exciting, and we are honored to have just enjoyed an amazing lunch here. Chef Shuman has been exposed to diverse foods since he was little because his mother, who is a cultural anthropologist, would bring the family on her exotic travels at a young age. Chef Shuman got to try many different foods from different cultures. Now we get to hear about this and much more directly from Chef Shuman. Thank you for taking the time today to let us interview Chef Shuman.
Thank you.
So what is the most rewarding and challenging thing of being an executive chef at Betony?
I think the most rewarding is, being able to teach and train and see others sort of find ways to, they struggle and then they succeed, and then all of a sudden they're executing the vision. So leading a team of young, hungry, dedicated, talented cooks, it's incredibly rewarding when they achieve the goals, and I don't know, it's pretty awesome.
Do you have a strong memory from any food experiences from traveling with your family around the world when you were young?
Yeah, a few. I don't know. So when I was like 4, I don't know, 5. So my mom took me to the Arctic because she was writing her dissertation on sort of the Inuit, who are like the native peoples who live up just above the Arctic Circle, but on the eastern side. So, and we were in Baffin Island. It was Clyde River, and so we were there for over a year, and essentially this would involve going camping, like hunting with them, so one time we went out to go hunting with them, and you attach this enormous like wooden sled to the back of a snowmobile, and you just go like taking it out across the ice, and on the back of your sled has there's like a little bit of like sleeping bags and a tent, and then you also have some supplies, and then you also have your rifles, and so you get to the spot where you're going to go hunting, and what you do is you build like this big mound in the snow, okay, and then you go out on the ice, and you're on ice, so it feels like the ground, but it's just frozen ice, and it's so frozen, so thick you just never know, and you go out there and then you dig a hole in the ice, okay, because they're hunting seal.
Oh, yeah.
And seals are mammals, okay, like us, right?
Yeah.
So they have to breathe oxygen. So they dig a hole in the ice. So the seal comes and pops out of the ice, to like get a breath of fresh air. And they're hiding behind the little snow mound that they build, and then they shoot the seal. So then you take the seal and you bring it back to where your camp is, and they would just cut open the seal right there, and they would save the blood, and they'd cut the meat, and everybody would just sit around and eat the seal raw, basically right then. And then some of it would be salted and cured and put away or frozen, so to be safe for another time. But they also do something else where they take a seal and they cut it open and they fill it full of birds, and then they wrap it up, and then they bury it for like 2 years. And then the birds get all fermented, and then they open it up and then they just eat the birds, like the feathers and everything.
So how do they remember where they buried it?
I have no idea. Because they've lived there all their lives, so probably.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? So I still have, so I remember that. And they save everything from the seal, though. So they would use all the bones for they'd make tools or toys. They'd take seal bones and make handles for their knives. The skins would get scraped, and then they'd chew them to help stretch the hides and tan, and they'd tack them up on a giant frame essentially to stretch it and cure it. and then they'd make like coats out of it. So like I had a sealskin parka, and it was made out of sealskin, and then all the meat was eaten. You know, it was quite a process. It was like how they survived, because nobody went to the store to go shopping. It was like everything was too expensive.
So, do you have a signature dish that you make at the restaurant?
Yes, I think the short rib. So we have a short rib that we serve at dinner time. You should come and check it out. And essentially we take a short rib and we dry age beef fat, and then we render that beef fat down. So it has a lot of like fatty, beefy flavor. And we put it on the short rib, and then we cook the short rib for 2 days in the beef fat at about 135 degrees. So it gets very tender, but it still looks like red, like a steak.
Yeah.
And then we grill that over charcoal, and then so it looks like a grilled steak. The short ribs have a lot of fat in them, so it's like a really great fatty steak. And we serve it with just mustard and onions.
That must take a lot of work and patience.
Yeah, it takes time. We set it up. You know, you set it up, and then you control it, you watch it, you take care of it, but you just know 48 hours later you need to pull it out.
So do you have an example of a cooking disaster that's happened at the restaurant or in cooking school?
I guess one time when I was at 11 Madison Park, the chef, so we dry aged ducks, and the ducks were from this one farm in California that he really liked, and this was a long time ago. Now the ducks are coming from New York, but another story entirely. So these were Muscovies, and as the meat roaster, responsible for dry aging the ducks and alternating them and dating them and tagging them, making sure they're nice and dry and that they're beautiful. And essentially, I had allowed the ducks to get too old, and so I had about half of a cooler of the ducks were about 4 weeks old. So so you want to dry age the duck for about 2 weeks maximum, and they were starting to turn green and mold. And the chef found them, and yeah, it was pretty disastrous for me. He was pretty upset. He was a pretty upset guy. But now you know what it taught me is that you have to be organized and you have to keep track of what you do, and you can't just let things go. You know, you have to keep your thumb on it.
So, if you could have dinner anywhere in the world tonight, where would it be?
Question. I don't know. Maybe Bojangles. You ever been to Bojangles? It's pretty good. No. I don't know. It's fried chicken on a biscuit. It's pretty good. Actually, there's a place in where the town I used to live in Greenville, North Carolina. Outside of Greenville is a barbecue restaurant. It's called Bees. And Bees is a shack, and it is like they open it around 9:30, 10 in the morning, and they serve whole hog, chopped Carolina style barbecue, and they sell Brunswick stew, corn sticks, green beans. They do some chicken. That's it. And every day they open around that time, 9:30, and every day by about 1 p.m. they close because they've run out of food.
Oh my gosh.
And so it's just like this little shack. They don't do substitutions. They don't care about your allergies. You either get what they are serving or you just get out. And there's a line down this, and it's right, kind of near the hospital too, so it's kind of funny to see. You see these like doctors come up driving their like brand new fancy cars, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's a shack. It is literally a shack with a ditch, and there's like a smokehouse behind it. It's kind of funny to see.
So what is your favorite food?
My favorite food? I like Sichuan Chinese. So like spicy fish-like stews with like lots of chili oil on top.
What's your least favorite food?
Frozen, like hammered. So when I was a kid, it was something. Okay, frozen vegetables have come a long way.
Yeah.
So when I was a little kid, my mom would try to feed me like these frozen squash or whatever, and it was like in a block, and it was just like definitely, I don't know what if it was puree or what, it was like hammered. And she'd heat it up in the microwave with no salt because she also was into nutrition. So she wouldn't put any salt or fat or butter or anything on the egg when she'd feed it, so it was disgusting. But yeah, I'd say that's it. See, now they have nice like IQF frozen veggies, you know, they're like organic and beautiful. Back then though, the frozen veggies were like the worst thing on the planet.
What is your favorite thing to cook at home?
Tacos. Yeah. Make tacos with like pickled onions and like cumin crema and like lots of cilantro and you make like a pineapple and carrot and habanero salsa. It's really, really good.
So, what do you think the best way to make healthier food choices is?
Healthier food choices? I would say know where you're going, you know, where you're getting your ingredients first of all. Second of all, and then, you know, make sure you have balance. So it's not good to eat 20 Snickers bars.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One Snickers bar every now and then, once a year or a month or whatever, you know what I mean? It's probably not going to kill you. It's okay. Like, I think it's about balance. Choosing ingredient. I mean, Snickers is a bad example because it's not like an amazing ingredient. But like, you know, if you choose your ingredients well, and you know where they're coming from, like if you know a great baker, you know what I mean. You shouldn't eat all the good bread. You shouldn't just sit there and eat all bread. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a great you know, chicken farmer or something who raises his birds very humanely and organically, and they just taste awesome. And but you shouldn't eat just chicken all the time. Exactly. Yeah. You know, so know the ingredients first, that they're good, and then find balance.
Yeah. So we'd like to thank Chef Shuman for letting us interview him today and sharing all of his amazing food stories and experiences from being a chef. Also for us, it was wonderful hearing that Chef Shuman was influenced when he was young and small, because we're experiencing the same thing right now from our parents. Chef Shuman, we can't wait to come back to Betony.
Great.
And we have a gift for you. It's our product.
Aww. Sweet. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Looks good.
I'm Emily. And I'm Nyla. And we're the kitchen attendants. And remember, fresh is best.
Cheers.